top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good afternoon. Welcome to this, your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. My name is Josh Evans Lakeman. In our headlines this afternoon, Chatham House expert says gas ashore project must be affordable, insists it cannot be seen as end all. Exxon caves to invest calls for a truer environmental impact report. Meanwhile, Vice President Jagdeo defends incentives for multi-billion dollar oil companies. And gunmen open fire on East Coast Demerara, home of Ponzi scheme operators. Get the details of these stories and much more when the news returns.
Digicel Prime Bundles just got better with 3 new apps. Watch more with PlayGo. Share more with Sportsmax. Read more news with Loop. Listen more with D-Music. Plus extra data. It's simply more bundled together. 51 gigabytes for 7 days for only $2,000. Live the experience with Digicel. Activate today on the My Digicel app.
Welcome back and thank you for joining us. In its bids to pursue a gas ashore project, the government of Guyana must first ensure that the venture is affordable. Now, so said Chatham House Associate Fellow Dr. Valerie Marcel. Dr. Marcel said it is clear from the inception that Guyana did not expect to find as much gas as it did in the Stabroek Block. Hence, there is a common interest among ExxonMobil and its partners along with the government to bring the gas to shore. She said that a gas ashore project will have shortcomings because it would not meet the energy demands of the entire country, especially the needs of persons living in far-flung areas. Considering this, she said that Guyana needs to look at the role of renewable projects in the national energy matrix. Dr. Marcel also said that the project has matrix in principle, but at the same time she admitted that she is making such a statement without having read or consider the feasibility studies of economics of bringing such a project on board. Oil supermajor ExxonMobil has finally bowed to investors' pressure to start reporting, on an annual basis, Scope 3 emissions. This is a category of emissions Exxon has evaded disclosing for many years. This follows a plan it announced last month to reduce its emission by a certain specified period. To many climate activists and climate investors, Exxon's additional reporting provides a truer representation of the impact of Exxon's work on the global environment, Exxon discresses. Vice President Dr. Barrett Jagdeo sought to impress why it is important for oil companies to be granted incentives by the government. Dr. Jagdeo believes that it is important to have incentive for oil companies because of the scale of investment they bring to these oil developments. He said that the total asset in Guyana's banking system amount to $1.1 trillion, or about $5.6 billion US dollars. Comparing this to the scale of investments being made by ExxonMobil, he noted that the Liza Phase 1 project has an estimated cost of $3.5 billion US dollars, while Liza 2 is estimated at $6 billion US dollars and Payara at $9 billion US dollars. Total cost of these three is estimated at $18.5 billion US dollars. We tell you now that the home of Ponzi scheme operator Yurse Garcia Dominguez and his wife Atika Ishmael reportedly came under gunfire last night. According to reports, 3 gunmen turned up at the premises at Enterprise East Coast Demerara and started shooting. The men, according to police, were spot exiting and then re-entering the vehicle after the shooting. Kaieteur Radio were told that Dominguez was not at home at the time of the shooting, and investigation has since been launched into the matter. You're listening to your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Coming up after the break, peacemaker knocked out while attempting to part fight. Man who burnt wife and children alive remanded. And $864 million in payment vouchers not presented for audit, according to the AG report. and passenger hijacked taxi at Policeman Corner. Get the details of these stories and much more when the news returns.
Guyana is now a full-fledged oil-producing nation. But how much do you know about this valuable yet finite resource? On our radio program, Guyana's Oil and You, we strike at the heart of every issue with informed views and credible data. The time is now for you to arm yourself with insightful knowledge on your oil wealth.
Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. 43-year-old Vinod nurse who was trying to be a peacemaker was knocked out after he attempted to part a fight between two men at Matthews Ridge, Region 1. The incident occurred at around 8 hours on Sunday. Reports revealed that the man who was on his bed at Matthews Ridge Primary School when he observed the two men having a violent argument. Upon seeing this, nurse approached them with the intention of keeping the peace, but was instead attacked. The two men allegedly assaulted nurse until he became unconscious. He was then taken to the Parika District Hospital where he was seen and admitted. The two men, a 21-year-old and a 29-year-old, are currently in custody, assisting with the investigation. Kenford Downer, the man who allegedly burnt his wife and children alive last December, yesterday made his first court appearance and was remanded to prison. The defendant, who was at the Bartica Magistrates Court, appeared virtually before Magistrate Crystal Lambert in the Redenhoop Magistrates Court. He was not required to plead to the indictable offense, which alleged that last December 12th at Potara Road, Bartica, he murdered 48-year-old Carolina Kennedy and their two daughters, 5-year-old Mariana and 3-year-old Gabriella Kennedy, during the course of arson. The defendant is expected to make his next court appearance on January 27, 2021. According to the 2019 Auditor's General Report, 744 payment vouchers totaling some $86.41 million were not presented to his office to be audited, resulting in a limitation of the audit scope. The entities in default are the Ministry of the Presidency, the Public Security Ministry, and the Guyana Defense Force. The report pointed out that 304 payment vouchers totaling $259.472 million were in respect to the aforementioned entities, while 436 vouchers carrying a value of $576.168 million were in respect to several regions. Auditor General Deodat Sharma said that as a result, it could not be ascertained whether value was received for the sums involved and whether the funds were used for the purpose intended. A taxi driver on Tuesday had his car hijacked by his passenger at Policeman Corner, La Parfaite Harmony, West Bank, Demerara. The taxi driver, 39-year-old Bagwadin Narain, told police that his car was hijacked around 21 hours 10. Investigators reported that apart from stealing Bagwadin's car, the two male passengers held him at gunpoint and took away his gold wedding band worth $75,000 and a cellular phone valued $86,000. Bagwadin, who told detectives that he piles his trade as a taxi driver at the New Road Redenhoop West Coast Demerara, revealed that he was sent to pick up the passengers opposite the West Demerara Regional Hospital. And finally, at this time, in COVID news, the Ministry of Health reported a new COVID-19 fatality yesterday. The latest fatality is an 85-year-old woman from Region 10, who is the country's 167th COVID-19 death. A total of 29 new COVID cases were also recorded yesterday, taking the number of confirmed cases to 6,436. 4 persons are currently in the COVID-19 ICU, 20 in institutional isolation, 262 in home isolation, and 46 in institutional quarantine. The total number of recoveries to date is 5,983, and 39,565 persons have been tested for the virus since March. And with that, we've come to the end of your main newscast right here on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Let's remind you that you can get the full details of these stories and much more by picking up a copy of the Kaieteur News at the newsstand near you or head across to our website at kaieteurnewsonline.com. I am Joshua Van Slackman on behalf of the news and technical team, wishing you and your family a great remainder of your Thursday afternoon.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of